In this tutorial, I will be showing you how to add accounts to your Bloom plugin. Now, the way Bloom works is that it acts as a bridge between your website and your email marketing system, whether that be MailChimp, Constant Contact, AWeber, and so on. Bloom supports integration with many different email marketing systems, and we'll be even adding more in the future. And so before you can actually create a functioning opt-in form, you first need to add one of your accounts to the Bloom plugin so that we have somewhere to add that subscriber. So you need to have an account with one of these email marketing systems, and then you need to create an email list within one of those systems. So you may sign up with MailChimp, you create a MailChimp list, and then you add that MailChimp account to Bloom. That gives Bloom access to that list, and it gives it the ability to add subscribers to that list. So like I said, Bloom is like the bridge between your website and that email marketing system. So before you can create an opt-in form, you first have to create an account. And so I'm going to walk you through the creation steps for each of those account types. And each different account type may have different authorization steps needed to give Bloom access to your lists. And so I'm going to go through those one by one. So to add your first account, you're going to want to go to your WordPress dashboard and then look for the Bloom link on the left here, and then click the email accounts link. And this is going to bring you to your account management tab in the Bloom settings panel. And this is where you can manage your current accounts as well as add new accounts. And right now I don't have any accounts, so I don't see anything listed here. All I see is the new account button. And if you were to click this, this begins the account creation process. And like I said, Bloom supports several different account types. So Bloom integrates with all the systems on this list here, and we will be adding more systems in the future. So, and as we add new systems, I will append those instructions to the end of this video. And you can also find written instructions on how to go through the authorization steps for each of these accounts down below the video on this documentation page. So I'm going to go through these one by one, starting with the first one on the list, which is MailChimp. So if you happen to be using MailChimp, the first thing you're going to want to do is sync your MailChimp account with Bloom. And so you're going to go to the accounts page, you're going to click that new account button, and then from the email provider list here, you're going to select MailChimp. And when you select an account type, it's going to bring up some new settings here, and these are the authorization settings. So this is the information you need in order to authorize your MailChimp account. And like I said, this gives Bloom access to the API that we can use to add subscribers to your lists. And the first part of any account creation step is the account name, and this is just something for you to remember the account by. So you could potentially add multiple MailChimp accounts if you happen to have multiple accounts. And so this is just a way for you to remember which account is which. So just name it whatever you like. I'm just going to call it MailChimp because I only have one MailChimp account. And then the only piece of information we need to authorize the account is your API key. And this is pretty common for most of the account types. You're just going to need to get your API key, and you can usually get that from within your online account. So in this case, you're going to want to log into MailChimp. And once you've logged into MailChimp, look for the drop-down menu up here, and then go to the account link. And then once you're in the account section, click on the extras drop-down menu, and then click on the API key. And this is going to bring you to your API key management tab. And here you can see a list of the API keys you've already generated, and you can also create new ones. So I would suggest creating a new API key for Bloom. So you're going to click the Create a Key button, and this is going to create a new key, and then you're just going to want to copy and paste that right into this API key input field, and then click Authorize. And once you click Authorize, if your information is correct, you're going to get a little confirmation here. You're going to see that Bloom now has access to your MailChimp list, and you're going to get a list of all your MailChimp lists as well. So I have one MailChimp list created. I just called it MailChimp test, and so Bloom sees that. It's added it to our lists, and if we save and exit, you're going to see that MailChimp has now been added to our accounts. And under the MailChimp section, you can see all of our lists here. I just have one list. It doesn't have any subscribers. And so you can use this account tab to get information about your list as well. So that's how you use MailChimp. And so I'm going to move on to the next step now. The next account type I'm going to walk you through is AWeber. AWeber works a little bit differently. It still uses an API key, but before you can get that API key, you have to go to a specific URL, which we have here, and you can use that to generate your what they call an authorization code. So as with all account types, the first step is to name your account. I'm just going to call it AWeber. Again, this is just something for you to remember the account by. And after you do that, you're going to click the link here that says generate authorization code. So click that, and then it's going to ask you to log in. So log into your account and click the allow access button, and this is going to give you the key that you need, their authorization code. So just copy and paste that, and then head back to the Bloom account panel here, and then paste in that authorization code, and then again click the authorize button. And if you've authorized it correctly and you've copied that key correctly, you're going to get a list of your lists here. And you can save and exit, and your AWeber account has now been added. As you can see, I now have my AWeber account, and then I have a list of all my lists here. I have 3 different lists in AWeber. 96 subscribers on this first list, 8 on the second, 3 on the third. And that's how you add AWeber. Next, I'm going to go through Constant Contact. So Constant Contact is one of the more complicated ones to set up. And so there's a bunch of steps needed to do this. You're going to have to create a new account, which is called a Constant Contact Developer Account. Then you're going to have to register an application using that account. And then you're going to have to use that new application, sync it with your normal Constant Contact account. That's going to give you a token. And then you're going to have both the API key and the token. Your app has been synced with your Constant Contact account. And once all those steps are done, you can authorize. So I'm going to take you through all of those different steps now. So the first thing you're going to want to do is create a Constant Contact developer account, and this is different than your normal Constant Contact account. So you should already have a regular Constant Contact account. If you don't, go to constantcontact.com and create a normal account and create a list. And once you have your normal account going, the next step is to create a developer account. And to do that, you want to go to developer.constantcontact.com. And if you want to get a direct link to that website, it's listed in the written documentation below. So just click that link. That's going to bring you to this page here, their Constant Contact developer website. You're going to want to click the Get Started button, and then you're going to want to create a new account. So click this to set up your account. And I already have an account set up, so I'm not going to go through that step. But once you have set up your account, you're going to want to come back to this page and then log in with that account that you've created. So I'm going to log in here. And then once you've logged in, you're going to get a little link here, and you click with that link that says existing accounts. This is the account you created. And this is going to bring you to a second website, and this is kind of like their developer account management tab. And this is where you can create new apps and create new access tokens. So now that you're signed in and you've created your developer account, you're going to want to click the API keys tab here. And this is where you can manage your API keys as well as get new API keys. So you can see I've already created an app in the past, and I have my API key here. But I'm going to delete this and start over so you can see how the application creation process works. So you've clicked on the API keys link, and that's brought you to this page. Next up, you're going to click the applications link, and then click the create new application button. And this is going to allow you to create a new application. All I really have to do is name it. So just name it something that you can remember it by, agree to their terms of service, and then register the application. And this is going to bring you to a page with a confirmation, and you're going to see the application has been registered, and you also have an API key here. So you're going to want to copy that API key and head back to the Bloom settings panel and paste in that API key. And so next we need to get the tokens. That's the second piece of information we need, and so we're going to do that next. So once you're back on this page, you're going to see your application has been registered, and there's a second link here that says get an access token and try the API. Click here. So click that link. It's going to bring you to a new page, and then you're going to see a list of your apps here. Make sure your Bloom app is selected, and then you're going to need to get an access token. And so click the Get Access Token button. That's going to bring you to a new page. And here you're going to want to log into your Constant Contact account, and if you don't already have one, create a new one. This is again your normal Constant Contact account, the one with all of your lists and your contacts. This is not your developer account. So if you already have an account, which I do, you're going to click this link. And since I'm already logged in, it knows that. And so if you aren't logged in, you're going to want to log in there. And then once you're logged into your account, you're going to click the Allow button. And once you click Allow, it's going to give you a new key here. And this is your token. So this is that second piece of information we need. So what's happened here is you've created an app, and then you've logged into your Constant Contact account and gave that application access to your account. And this is that second piece of information that says, yes, I'm allowing this Bloom app to have access to my lists. So copy that token, go back to your Bloom management page, paste in that token there, and also give your account a name as usual. I'm just going to call it Constant Contact, and then click Authorize. And as usual, once it's been authorized correctly, you're going to get a list of all your lists here, and then you're going to just want to save and exit. And you can see that Constant Contact has been added, as well as all of my lists and their subscriber counts and growth rate and all of that. Okay, so that's how you authorize Constant Contact. Next up on the list is Campaign Monitor. And Campaign Monitor is pretty simple. You're just going to need an API key, much like we did with MailChimp. And so let me close all these Constant Contact pages. So you're going to want to log into your Campaign Monitor account, and once you've logged in, go to the Account Settings link, and then you're going to see a little link here that says Show API Key. Just click that, and that's going to show your API key. Copy and paste that API key into the API key field. Give it a name. And then authorize, and if the information you've added is correct, you're going to get a list of your lists here, and you can save and exit. And now Campaign Monitor has been added, and you get a list of my single list here with 0 subscribers. And that's how you add Campaign Monitor. Next up on the list is MadMeMe. MadMeMe is also pretty simple. You just need an API key as well as your username, which you should know. And so head over to your MadMeMe account and log in. And once you're logged in, you're going to want to click on the account button at the top here. And once it loads, there we go, took a little while. Look on the right here and look for the API tab. And if you click that tab, you're going to get an API key, and you can also regenerate an API key if you want to create a new one. And once you've copied and pasted, or copied that API key, you're going to paste it here into the field. Also input your username, which in my case is the email address I use, which is this test email address. And the account name, whatever you want to name it is fine. And then click Authorize. And as usual, if your information is correct, you're going to get a confirmation of your lists here, and then you're going to want to save and exit, and then you'll see MadMeMe has been added along with the rest of the accounts, along with all the lists within the MadMeMe account as well. So that's how you add MadMeMe. Next up, we're going to be going through the IContact creation process. Now, much like Constant Contact, IContact also requires you to create an application, although it doesn't require quite as many steps as Constant Contact, because you don't need to create a new developer account, but you do need to go to a specific URL to generate that application. And if you're on our documentation page, simply scroll down to the IContact section, and we have a link there to the app generation section. If you're just following along with the video tutorial, then you're going to want to type in this specific URL into your address bar, and that URL is app.icontact.com/ICP/core/register-app. And register app, no dash, just one word. And that'll bring you to this page. And here you can create an application. And since I've already created the application, my app ID shows up here. So you're going to want to create your app and then double click or copy this app ID and head back to your Bloom settings panel and paste it into the app ID section. And then you're also going to want to input your username and password. And in this case, it's your username that you use to log in. And the password you actually are going to generate here. It's the password for your app. So you're going to want to click this change your app password for this app ID, and then type in our new password. So I'm going to generate a password here. And save. So I've created a new password, so you're going to paste that there. And finally give it a name, IContact, and authorize. And if you've input the information correctly, you've generated your new password and pasted that in. You've input the username you used to log into icontact.com, and then you've pasted that app ID you just generated. Then you're going to get a successful authorization. You're going to see your account lists here, and then click Save and Exit to finish the process. And you can now see that iContact has been added, as well as the lists associated with that account. Next up on the list is GetResponse. So GetResponse, all you need is an API key, and you can generate this inside your GetResponse.com account. And so you're going to want to log in to your GetResponse.com account. Under the drop-down menu here, click on the integrations link, and then click on the GetResponse API tab here. And then you're going to get your API key is going to be right here, and you can reset this as well if you like and get a new one. But you can copy and paste that key into the input field here, and then add a name, which I'm just going to call it GetResponse. And then if your information has been added correctly, you're going to get a successful authorization and your list here. So save and exit, and you can see my GetResponse account has been added, as well as the list associated with that account. All right. Next up, we have SendInBlue. And this also simply requires an API key. So first I'm going to give it a name. And then you're going to log into your SendInBlue.com account to retrieve that API key. So I've logged in here, and at the very top you can look for the API and integrations link. Just click that link, and this is going to bring you to a new page. And under the API box here, you can see there's a Manage Your API Keys button. So click that, and here you're going to get a list of your API keys, and you can also add a new one. I'm just going to copy and paste the one I have here. So here's my API key. I'm going to copy that and paste it in here and click Authorize. And if the information is correct, you're going to get a successful authorization with your account lists shown here. And when I save and exit, you can see that GetResponse has been, or SendInBlue has been added with my associated list. And so let's move on to the next account type. Next up is MailPoet, and this MailPoet works a little differently because it's actually a WordPress plugin. And so it's a plugin you install on your own WordPress installation, and then you manage your subscribers through the plugin. And because it's installed on your own WordPress dashboard, you don't need to actually authorize anything. You just need to install the plugin and create your list. So in that case, you're simply going to want to install the plugin, which I already have. And if you haven't already, then you can go over to the plugins page here and go to add new, and then just type in MailPoet. And you'll see it here, and you want to install it. I already have it installed. You can see it's installed here, and I can manage my lists and my subscribers and so on. And you can see I have just myself and Kenny as subscribers, and then I have my list here. And so since I've already installed MailPoet, if I were to add that account, it's going to recognize that I have the plugin installed. And so all I got to do is give it an account name to remember it by, and click authorize, and then you'll see it'll have my lists here. I'm going to save and exit, and then MailPoet will be added, as you can see here. Next up on the list is Ontraport. And as you can see, Ontraport requires two things, an API key and an app ID. To generate these two pieces of information, you're going to have to first log in to your ontraport.com account. So log in there, and then at the top here, click the drop-down menu, and then click the administration link. And then here, look for the API and key manager under the integration section. Click that. And finally, click the new API button at the top here. And you're going to want to give your app ID a name. And I'm just going to call it Bloom Test Plugin. And then you're going to want to assign it a user. So pick your user. And then make sure that Add Contacts is selected under the permissions, and save. And once it's been saved, you'll see it shows up here at the bottom, and it gives you both your app ID and your API key. So you're going to want to copy each of those, copy the app ID, and then paste it into the relevant field here in the Bloom Setup panel, and then copy the API key as well, and paste that, and then name the account as usual, Ontraport, and then click Authorize. And then once it's authorized, you'll see your list here. That means it's been authorized successfully. And you want to save and exit to finish the process. And once you save and exit, you can see that your Ontraport account has been added along with your lists here. Okay, moving on. The next account on the list is Blitz. Now, Blitz, all you need to do is get your API key, and you can get that from your feedblitz.com account. So you're going to want to log into Blitz, and then on the left here, click on the My Account tab, and then find the API keys link and click that. And then this is going to give you a list of your API keys once it loads here. So you can copy and paste this API key, or delete this API key and generate a new one for Bloom if you like. Make sure you select the whole thing, and then paste the API key here, give it a name, and then authorize. And if the information is correct, you're going to get a list of all the different lists you have in your Blitz account. Save and exit, and now Blitz has been added along with the associated lists here. Okay, next up we have Infusionsoft. Infusionsoft requires a couple pieces of information: an application name, which is automatically assigned to you when you sign up, as well as an API key, which you can get from within your account. And so you're going to want to log into your Infusionsoft account, and then under the drop-down menu here, go to the admin section, and then click the settings link. And this is going to bring you to your admin settings. Next up, you're going to want to click the application tab, and then scroll down and look for the API key here under the API key section. You're going to want to copy that API key, paste it into the API key field. And then next up, you're going to need to find your application name. And this can actually be found in your browser address, in the address bar in your browser. It's the subdomain when you log in. So if you look here at the subdomain, when I logged in, it says EX239. That's my app ID. So you're going to want to copy that, whatever it is shown there in your URL, paste it into the application name there, Give this a name, and then authorize. And as usual, if your authorization has been successful, you're going to get a list of all your lists. Save and exit to finalize the process, and Infusionsoft has now been added. So there I've gone through all of the 12 different integrations that we currently offer. And once you've added any one account, you can then associate that account and a certain list within that account with any opt-in form that you build. So when you build an opt-in form, you're then going to be able to select that account and select that list. So let me just give you an example of that. So I'm going to go over to our opt-ins page, and I'm going to create a new opt-in. And now I'm not going to go into too much detail here. We have detailed tutorials about how to create each opt-in type. So I encourage you to take a look at those tutorials, as well as detailed tutorials about every step within the opt-in creation process. So I'm just going to show you how you select your account once it's been added. So I've added all those accounts. And now when I create a new opt-in form, you're going to see that under the form integration section here, if I select any of these account types, since I've added one account to all of these, you're going to see the account that I added. Here's my AWeber account, as well as all the lists that I have associated with my account. And so I could select any of these lists and then move on to the next step. And when I complete the creation of this opt-in and add it to my site, and someone signs up using that opt-in form, it's going to be added to that particular list that I selected within the particular account that I selected, in which in this case is AWeber. And so yeah, that's a basic overview of how to add accounts. And one other thing I'd like to note is that while you can add accounts here, as I showed you in the Accounts tab, you can also add them right from the Optin Creation screen. So when you create a new opt-in, as I just did, if you hadn't added any accounts yet, or if you'd like to add a new account, you can do so right here. For example, if I were to select MailChimp and then select Add Account here, it's going to bring me right to that authorization step that I went through earlier, and you can add your API key and create a new account right here during the opt-in creation process. So yeah, that's a basic overview of how to add accounts within the Bloom settings panel. And as we add more integrations in the future, I'm going to add details, written documentation about those integrations down below the video here on the documentation page. So if you are looking to integrate a different system and you didn't see it in this tutorial, be sure to check below because there may be more information down there.